online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads from over 200 countries and your number one source in after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin! Bring the sexy back.
All right, we are here once again for AfterBuzz TV Extreme Weight Loss Edition. We have Kristi and Kenny. I'm your host, Morgan Martin.
And I'm Yvonne Maisonette, filling in for
Jackie. She's actually getting married, so congrats to Jackie. We definitely miss her. But me and Yvonne had an awesome time watching the show. This was absolutely incredible. We had a dual episode where usually there's only one contestant, but we had two of them. What did you think about today's episode?
I thought it was pretty exciting, and I love, the whole Christy thing. So it gave us something to wonder about what's coming up,
Yeah, absolutely. And we always start, let's just dive right in. Of course, everybody, they always start of some reason of how they get to this place. And even let's just start off with Christy. She had a pretty rough childhood, going all the way back to high school.
Yeah, she was bullied, and also I think in addition to being bullied, I think at home there was some issue that they didn't really talk about it, but I just have a feeling that there was an underlying issue that was deeper than, there's the bullying, but there was something else going on too at home.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they kind of masked over that. Yeah. But she was the caretaker for her mom, who's kind of going through dementia. But the biggest thing was that she was bullied pretty much since she was 10.
Yeah.
Literally, kids are cruel.
Kids are mean.
They're so mean. She said that they wrote her a note and had pretty much the whole school sign it and says, "You don't wear the clothes we wear. We don't like what you look like. You'd be better off if you would just leave the school.
You don't fit in, you have to go." Basically, they voted her off campus.
Yeah.
Not that they can do that, but that they would even think to do that is so sad.
And she's 10.
Yeah, that would scar a child. Kids are so brutal, but that's extreme.
Yeah, that's a lot. And I think, and that just carried on with her pretty much throughout life, that even, I think it was at age 10 where she was just like, you know what, I can't do this anymore. And she actually tried to commit suicide.
Yeah. And then she has the issue of her mom kind of not acknowledging some of her pain and her suffering, which I think, makes it worse for her because she was bullied. Then on top of it, whatever went on at home, which I feel like was not talked about. Yeah. And then, the mom not acknowledging her pain. So there's a lot of emotional issues that Christy.
So she was like, nobody's going to acknowledge me. I'm going to eat food. And that's pretty much, what it came to. But Chris always comes up with the craziest ways to surprise people. So she's a Vegas girl. So, typical Vegas, you're out, you dance, you drink, and then her thing is, of course, fast food on the go. And Chris literally called her in the middle of eating her cheeseburger in the parking lot and was like, "Hey, I want to work with you, but you have to climb to the top of the stratosphere."
What are you doing eating a cheeseburger at 2 in the morning? And I got a little workout for you.
1 mile and 112 flights of stairs before sunrise.
And that's extreme just for someone who's not overweight,
Heck
right?
No, I would
try to get me to do that at 2 in the morning.
Not going to happen.
Yeah, that was intense.
She did.
She did.
But she did it though. And I'm not going to lie, she did it and you could tell there was a little bit of give up, but the fact that she fought through, in my mind I thought man, she's going to be a fighter. She's going to make it to the end. But we'll see, obviously, that's not the case.
But it is because she made it up, and, she doesn't run. She doesn't do any of these things. So for her to get up there, it's if you can do this, honestly, you can do anything. But she just...
It's a mental thing for her, completely.
Yeah.
So... But then on the other hand, we have our buddy Kenny. I say this every week, I fall in love with somebody every single week. And this week it was Kenny. He is just the big teddy bear of life.
He is. He's so
Well, he's not so big
cute
anymore, but...
No, but he was the biggest, sweetest goober. Just so honest with his emotions. And he was crying and he loves his wife and everything. And it was just so endearing. Big old teddy bear.
He is, and he's only 35, but he looks so much older then.
Really did. Yeah.
Now as his husband or his wife.
He did look 50. Chris said he looked 50, and I was like, wow, he does look 50. That's crazy.
Yeah. It's amazing what weight can like add age
you actually would think that. I wouldn't have thought that weight would make you look older because it puffs up your face and maybe smooths out some wrinkles, but no, I guess not.
Yeah, and I mean he was a Marine, so he joined the Marines and he actually quit because of his weight, which was a huge thing, and you could tell it was something that he never really completely let go of, but that was the most difficult thing for him, and he just kept saying, you know what, like I feel like I'm not the person that my wife and my kids deserve.
Right. And his wife is super fit. She's a dancer, hot body.
Yeah.
And, and then to give up at the Marines, that was intense because that's a major decision. That's a life decision. That like affected benefits long term for them as well.
That's so true.
And that's a total, like, it really followed him through life, that regret.
Yeah.
And it was also, he chose to eat rather than to back then he wasn't that heavy. So he could have, nipped it in the bud then.
Yeah.
So that was a big deal.
Yeah, and I thought it was so, because they don't always show like the whole family dynamic. It's like, yeah, we know these people have families, but they don't always show it. But I think this episode, they really showed his family dynamic, especially with them having to deal with the total crash of their home with the tornado in Oklahoma. Yeah. Like literally in 5 minutes, their whole world just completely changed.
It was like their house was completely gone.
Yeah.
So they've been through a lot.
And
his wife is so supportive. I mean, she loves her guy.
She is patient.
Patient. He gained weight, and he said, till death do us part, but nobody said that when you double your size.
Maybe they should add that in the vows.
Doubling up, I think he said. No one said anything about doubling up. So that was funny.
Yeah, but you could tell she loves him, but at the same time you can tell she's an active woman. Yeah. She wants to do things. He has young kids that I'm sure run around like crazy, and I'm sure she wants that support to have somebody that can do that with their family, and you could tell he desperately wanted it too. Yeah. He just was so in a cloud that
and I'm sure they had some talks. You never know what she said behind closed doors, like, you're gonna do something or else I'm out, because it's possible. I mean, she's very supportive, but at the same time she said the activity levels have dropped. Like, I think we watched over the course of the year, I think I saw their relationship slowly evolving, because they did seem very distant in the very beginning when he had all the weight, and you could tell that she obviously cares about him and loves him, but it was kind of like, this is too much. Yeah, but it just is what it is. And the more drastic, I mean, she ended and she was like, yo, my wife is hot. I mean, my husband is hot. And he's a cutie. You kind of could tell that just by looking at that face, even at the beginning, but what a handsome guy.
He is.
And I'm sure just the whole family, they're all gonna feel so much better. And, she can just be proud of her husband.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And then we just they don't waste time. They're like, all right, you have to leave and go to boot camp for 3 months. So they spend the first 3 months away from their family. And even just going back to Kristi, she weighed in at, I believe, 410 pounds. And so she had...
She's 385.
Oh, three. I'm sorry, yeah. 3. She was 385. Her goal was to lose 85 pounds in the boot camp. And I was rooting for her. Yeah. Her first fight or flight exercise was just running on a treadmill, because she basically said she never ran.
Ever. He was like, when was the last time you ran? And she's like, last time.
People run?
What?
Yeah.
Never run.
Because she was bullied. She literally said her PE teacher told her, like, no, don't run. You may hurt yourself.
And you don't tell that to someone overweight. They need to run. But. Yeah. So anyways, that's she never ran.
No. But I was actually kind of sad that she didn't really get to stick the whole first 3 months in boot camp. She does take care of her mom, who has dementia, so she ended up having to go back home. But it was nice that they made this, like, I believe, pink gym in her garage. But that's still, I think those first 3 months really like set the tone. So it's almost like, I don't say she set herself up for failure, but that's hard.
Because she's by herself. She's with her mom. It's somewhat depressing just because she's already feeling kind of trapped. She has to take care of her mother, and I'm sure her life she doesn't feel fulfilled. And then to have to do this by yourself, it's hard. I'm sure she had some help in the sense of this is what you have to do, but it would have been nice if she could have stayed the whole 3 months.
Yeah, I completely agree.
I agree, yeah.
Yeah, but at least Chris did come to visit.
Oh, he
came. Then he came in and said, what were you thinking when you saw Chris, her, and her mom's like sitting down at the dinner table?
That was so funny. Wait, when you saw them at the dinner table?
Oh, when they all had dinner together. Yeah.
That was interesting, because at first I thought you meant when he came and he
the
surprise weigh-in. But yes. No, I thought that was intense. That was really intense. But and like I said, it didn't go like how we thought it would, right? And the handshake was like,
yeah. I mean, you can tell. I mean, she is not. There is some like issues, and they didn't uncover them in the episode. In my mind, I kept thinking like there is something that you all are not.
There's something
showing us.
Serious because the mom's like, I'm sorry, I don't remember. I was busy, and and she's like, she's in denial, and so that's why I think the root of Kristi's problem is that. I mean, the bullying is obviously part of it, but the root of it is the unknown thing that happened when she was a child and her mom wasn't there for her, and then when the mom was like, I support you so much, handshake. Yeah. That was like, wow.
When your mom says I love you and then gives you a handshake, that is, Kristi was even like,
But she said we're not affectionate.
Yeah.
She said it, like our family was not.
You can tell that. But it's like you can easily judge that because, I mean, of course, we associate mom, daughter, love, hugs, and all of that. But I bet you for her, even to hear I love you and to even get the handshake was honestly probably a huge step for them at that point in time.
And that was the mom making her efforts. But there's some deep rooted issues that Kristi has to resolve before she can be ready, because I think there's so much she has to deal with that losing the weight is going to come when she's able to like come to some sort of peace with some of her past.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, so of course we've got Kristi, who went home, but then we've got Kenny, who actually is at boot camp, like, killing it. And his first fight or flight mission was basically Marine Corps workout. I've never seen Chris yell at somebody like that. I almost couldn't even take him seriously because he's such a nice person.
That was so funny. And the way that Kenny was, that was so cute.
Yeah. Kenny got into it. Like, he went off and got all up in Chris's face, and
he was like, he meant it, you know. He was serious. In, like, Kenny was in. Like, I think Kenny was trying to keep his wife. I really do. I think that's what it was. Like, she was all, I'm supportive, but she's like, she probably told him.
You already know. Behind closed doors, she was like, look, if you're about to leave me for 3 months and be a single parent and I have to do, because you could tell it was hard for her.
Totally.
She was like, look, if I have to do all this, you better do what you need to do. And that's all he kept saying. Whenever he would talk to her on the phone, he's like, I'm working as hard as I can.
I think this was to keep her. I think ultimately there was an ultimatum.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm done and I'm tired. You need to call Chris. And you need to get this straightened up, because he was so dedicated.
He was.
And I love seeing that. It's inspiring.
Yeah. And I mean, you could tell she was his, and the kids obviously too, was his motivation, because he started taking dance lessons. And
he loves her.
He was really trying. So, I mean, they were killing it. So we get to the 90-day weigh-in. He had a goal to lose 111 pounds. He started off at 410, and he got down to 309. So he missed his goal by a little bit, but he still lost like close to 100 pounds.
That's a lot. And you know what's so funny is when Kristi weighed in, we're looking at her like, ooh, doesn't look like she made it. And then with him, we're like, oh, he's got this. And turns out she made it in her first weigh-in. Yeah. And then he was over by 10 pounds.
Yeah. I think, too, women and men carry their weight so differently. Yeah. Where, like, if you looked at her, I didn't see as much of a physical change, but she actually hit her goal and lost the 85 pounds that she needed to, where he didn't, but he significantly looked different.
And maybe it's all in here, the face,
men
the
have it so much
body.
Easier, you know, with the weight loss thing.
It's not fair.
But I love the 90-day win, because after that, they finally actually get to go back home. And they both had some pretty awesome home. Well, Kristi was already home, but Kenny got to go back home, and he had this amazing, like, literally like the whole city came to welcome.
And he got to have a speech.
The little town of Oklahoma. He was just down with the family. So it was just good to see that. And I think from that moment you saw that, like, so many people were rallying behind him, and you saw his confidence growing. So
totally. He had mad support.
Yeah, he did. And even going into phase 2, I mean, he had a lot of obstacles. He had a full-time job. He's working on no sleep. He's trying to help his wife with the kids. He's waking up at like 4:30 in the morning just to get a workout in.
That's tough.
Yeah.
I mean, that's hard to do in general. Like, because there's no downtime. It's like work, kids, you know, sleep, wake up, exercise. That's a lot.
Yeah.
He really gets an A for effort.
Completely agree.
Yeah.
And then we've got Kristi. I mean, her goal was 384. She lost 85 pounds and got down to 298. So she was excited. But the minute he gave her the next goal, which in phase 2 was to lose 60 pounds, that smile went the complete opposite way.
Why do you think that she felt so discouraged by that?
Because I've never seen, like, usually people are maybe a little taken back by the goal of like, oh man, I wonder if I can do it. But she looked mad. Like, she almost looked at Chris like, I'm sorry, are you crazy?
I just did this.
Right.
Now you want me to do that.
So, I mean, she was silent, and he even asked her, like, are you okay? And she's like, no.
Yeah, I just wonder why she wasn't still motivated, because when you lose that much weight, like, you did it, girl. Like, you made it through phase 1.
Yeah. I think she's been beat down so much, and I think, because, I mean, later she just keeps calling herself, like, a loser, and I think her biggest thing is not wanting to be a failure. So I think for her, the fact of, like, hearing 60 pounds, in her mind was like, I don't want to fail. So I think she was upset of failing.
I guess so. But it just seems like she wasn't trying. I felt like she didn't have that fighter in her when she should have, because she did it. Like, that first phase is tough, and you did it. Yeah. So now it should be like, yeah, I'm really like, right. But, you know, to each, everyone's different.
I think exactly like what you said before, until there's some type of issues going on that I don't really think came to the surface. And I think until whatever that is, and I hope that, you know, because obviously some time has passed since she got the boot. Right. I mean, hopefully that she's able to deal with that so that she actually can, like, do what she needs to do. It would be so
great if she can work out some of her issues and even come back, you know, like in a year or something. You know,
maybe bring her back. And I'm all about bringing people back into the
Give her a
next
chance.
seasons.
Like, I mean, obviously, maybe she needs counseling first.
Yeah, that's true.
And then we can see about bringing her back.
Yeah, I agree. So, but even before we get into phase 2, I have to get a shout out to all you guys who listen and on iTunes and watch us on YouTube. So please continue to tell a friend, recommend us, rate us, give us stars so that we can keep on going. And of course, if you ever have questions, comments, please post in the comment section. We love to hear from you guys as well.
Definitely.
Fan shout out. And so just keep on moving. I mean, so we're into phase 2, and there's just so much going on. And Chris, going back to with Christy, she actually comes in and he sits down with her and is like, I don't think you've been doing anything. 4 weeks in.
Now, 4 weeks. I mean, and she hasn't.
She ended up gaining weight.
That was funny when he came to do the weigh, and he came to her house, and then she was on the treadmill, but something tells me when she heard the door, she ran and hopped on that treadmill, because she was with her water. She was on the treadmill like, oh, hey. No. She wasn't on that thing.
She looked glammed up, not a
She wasn't
ounce
on
of
that
sweat.
thing. And that was funny. And the light was off on Believe. Did you notice that? The light on the wall.
You're good.
So she just ran in there real quick.
Yeah. No.
But so she gained 3 pounds.
She was a lot. I'm calling your bluff. She's a liar. There's no way that you work out 4 hours a day and are sticking exactly to the diet plan and you don't lose any pounds. So they called her out. They're like, you're coming to Colorado. Heidi's like digging, trying to call her out, and she's like, nope, I've done everything. And so, like,
She's lying probably. Because, I mean, he was even saying if you're telling the truth, then you need to be in a lab somewhere, and we need to study you, because you're either eating more calories than you're burning. Yeah. And 4 hours, I do have to say, that's a lot.
It is.
Is that what they're all expected to do? That's a lot.
4 hours. They usually do like a 2 hour in the morning, 2 hour later
that's intense.
In the evening. It is.
But she wasn't doing, I think she was eating, probably not as much as before, but I do not think she was working out 4 hours a day.
No. Absolutely not. I mean, because then when they take her to Colorado, she's not pushing herself in the workout. She's got Chris right there motivating her. So you can tell if she can't get motivated with Chris in her face, you know she wasn't motivated at home by herself. No. And then the lies just continue.
So she's not trying to do the workout. It was a half-ass workout. And then she's supposed to be walking back to the lab or back to the dorm.
What did you think when you saw like her like flagging down? I'm like, is she saying hello to a friend?
Call someone? I said, is it Uber? Did she call someone? I was just trying to say, like, where's this white car coming from? Yeah. And I was trying to think, but it turns out she hitchhiked.
Yeah. Security cameras are everywhere.
Half a mile. Not 3 miles or 5 miles. It was half a mile.
Yeah. And so, of course, everything is caught on camera because, hello, you're filming a TV show. Yes. And Chris and Heidi, like, they don't play around. They're super passionate about helping people. And, I mean, they'll bring people into their homes. They'll go to the ends of the earth to allow people to hit their goal. But when they feel like you just don't care.
Yeah, because someone else can fill that spot. There's someone who wants it. And here she is playing games and hitchhiking with strangers.
Yeah, so I don't blame them. They end up kicking her out of the program. My favorite moment was Chris was like, so how was the walk home? And she's like, it was awful.
That was so fun. He was like, so which part was awful? Getting in the car or getting out of the car? Which part was hardest? But like we said, when we were talking before, it would have been nice for him to see what she was going to say. Because she might have said, it was awful, I had to hitch a ride.
Right.
Or she might have gone on this long tangent and told us a story.
Yeah, that's so true.
We didn't get to find out.
No. But I mean, look, they kept it real. They were like, life isn't going to change. You have to change. And they handed her a ticket and they said, until you're ready to change, we just can't help you. And she didn't even put up a fight. She actually said she was relieved.
They were disappointed that she didn't put up a fight. And I think they were still open to letting her stay. She was like, please, just one more chance. But she didn't want this.
She didn't.
And he was very upset because he was swearing when he was like, it takes a moment. Life changes in an instant. And it's the instant that you make that decision. And it's true. It's like it can all change, just like with Kenny.
Yeah.
Kenny made it happen. Nobody else made it happen. You have that motivation behind you, maybe, but you can't do it. No one can shove food in your mouth or,
right.
And she didn't want it.
Yep. She didn't want it at all. So she's gone, but we still get to keep on going with our teddy bear, skinny teddy bear, Kenny. I mean, he's just like killing it. And then, phase 2, he lost 45 pounds. He hit his goal. He's down to 264. And then he gets back, his dream of getting back into the Marines. Although I'm sure it probably was a dream until he realized what the heck he had to do.
That's why he's like, okay, I'm good. I'm glad. There's no hope for this in the future.
When
he was giving his speech to the other Marines, I thought that was really funny.
They were going straight for like almost 11 hours.
That's intense. And I think he was good. Like, okay, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
But he did it. And there was a guy who passed out and it was not him.
Yeah, absolutely not. So kudos to Kenny.
Yeah.
We love Kenny. And his wife was right there by his side through everything. She's
so calm. She's just smiling and like...
Yeah.
Because
she knows what's up. She sees the transformation slowly but surely. And then we hop into phase 3. He hits his goal. He was 264 all the way down to 225. So he's killing it.
Yeah.
And he just keeps saying, he's like, I'm going to do everything I can to just keep losing.
And you
the
trust
weight.
him. Like when he says it, you believe him because he's done it.
Oh, yeah.
Like whatever he says, you're like, okay, Kenny's going to deliver.
Yeah. And at this point, he has even more motivation because in phase 3, that's when they give him the option to have the skin removal surgery. And he qualified, but he wouldn't be able to get all of it because he still needed to lose some more weight. And he was like, all right, let's go. He was like, why would you go through all of that to miss the mark? So he set another goal if he had to lose at least 25 pounds. And he more than killed that.
Yeah, incredible.
Yeah.
So
what do you think? What do you think how he looked in the final weigh-in?
I thought he looked amazing, and I thought more than that, he felt amazing.
Yeah.
He looked his age again. It's incredible, like how just these changes can make such a difference. He looked incredible. He seemed happy. He seemed proud of himself. And that confidence was back. So
yeah, absolutely. And he lost more than he actually weighs. He went from 410. He lost 208 pounds down to 202.
Incredible.
And he finally got to dance with his wife.
And they killed it.
Yeah.
That was
Although
cute.
They try to make it look like a little like, oh, I'm going to
impromptu.
They've been practicing that dance for a long time. But they were precious, so I'll take it and accept it.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. So what do you think, just moving on to some predictions of Kenny and Kristi.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So what do you think about Kristi? What do you think is going on with her? Do you think she's going to try to lose the weight?
Just how I said I trust Kenny because Kenny kind of showed us. I feel like what I would hope for Kristi is that she comes back or she's like, screw these people. I'm not going to go out like this. I'm not going to, be that girl. And she does it because she just wants to have the fighter in her and find that girl inside of herself. But because of her track record, I couldn't trust that she would do that. And I wouldn't put money on it. But I would surely hope that because she's a beautiful woman and it's inside. It's there. But she's got to find it. So as far as predictions go, I can't say that I would trust that that would happen, but I would hope it would.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's sad. I think that if she can get like real help, like if her and her mom or whoever else is involved can sit down and get to the root of her real issues, I think that then she'll be motivated to change. But until that happens, I think she's going to just be stuck where she is. Although I don't want to see her, because she's gorgeous.
She is. She's a beautiful woman, and there's a lot inside of her, and it would be so great to just see her come alive and a rebirth, you know, and it would be just awesome, you know.
Heidi and Chris are they're not one to give up easily. So I would not be surprised if like season 5, season 6, they do a callback and bring her back on if she hasn't changed up. And then Kenny, I mean, he said himself, he's like, this is only the beginning.
He's going to be like rock hard. Like he's going to be
him and
working
wifey
alongside Chris, you
That's
know?
what I said. Him and wife are going to look like Chris and Heidi.
Yeah,
because she's already like looking
she's
pretty
ready.
good.
She's ready. So all he has to do is get his skin tucked and he'll be there.
Yep. So excited for obviously more and more to come, and more people losing more and more.
They're all inspiring stories, you know.
Absolutely. And we love it. And thank you guys so much for tuning in to Extreme Weight Loss AfterBuzz TV. I'm your host, Morgan Martin. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at ms_Morgan Martin.
And I'm Yvonne Maisonette, and you can find me on Twitter at Yvonne Maisonette and at WWW Entertainment Crush.
Awesome.
Take care.
Thank you guys so much.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.